FlossTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Robin and you have found my channel, Lady Robins. If you want to follow me on another social media platform, I'm also Lady Robins on Instagram, so you can follow me in two places if you're interested. I want to welcome you back to my channel. This is a channel about cross stitch. If you are a new subscriber, welcome. I'm thrilled that you're here. I'm happy that you have found me and you're seeing what all the FlossTube is about. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. I am happy to have you here in my little corner of the world. Today, it is Cinco de Mayo. It is the 5th of May, so happy Cinco de Mayo. And I usually film on Tuesdays, so I was all set to wish you guys a happy Star Wars Day and declare May the 4th be with you. But Tuesday filming didn't happen again this week, so apologies for being a day late again. And as a heads up, I'm going to be late next week too, because I have scheduled a trip down to Acorns and Threads in Portland, Oregon with some girlfriends. So I will be off doing stash enhancement next Tuesday, but I promise I'll be back on Wednesday with an update of the Acorns trip, and there'll probably be a little haul to show. So that's what's going on right now. Of course, we have to have our mug of the day, and this one, if you can see, is Phoenix, Arizona. Beautiful Phoenix. I have been to Phoenix a few times, and I think Phoenix is really pretty. In fact, my oldest niece just moved to Phoenix last week. She is starting a brand new job, looking at a whole new part of her life, putting a new start on things for herself down in Phoenix. So I don't think my niece Amelia watches my FlossTube, but Amelia, if you're watching, good luck in Phoenix. This mug, my friend, is for you. All right, what have I been working on? You guys, I actually think it's a good thing that I'm filming on Wednesday, because if I filmed yesterday on Tuesday, I would have only had 3 things to show you, but because I got an extra night of stitching, I have 4 whips to show you today. All right, let's have some coffee. And I want to do a little housekeeping here really quick. When I respond to your comments on my FlossTube videos, I go through the YouTube dashboard and I click on a thing that says show me comments that I haven't replied to, and so I go through that and then I reply through that little interface. Guess what? Yesterday, I mean, who knows what the heck went on, but yesterday when I clicked on that and I was responding to comments, so if you got a response from me yesterday, I fully intended to film FlossTube, but I just didn't get to that step. But I wanted to make sure I responded to comments before I filmed. Anyway, when I clicked on that, show me comments I haven't replied to, all of a sudden, I got comments from 8 months ago. 8 months ago that I have never seen or responded to. I'm feeling incredibly guilty, you guys. So if you commented on my videos months and months and months ago and you didn't hear from me, I apologize. I don't know what happened, and I don't know why it took 8 months for these comments to show up. Now, you tell me, will you feel like, Robin, this is insane if I go back and comment on those 8-month-old comments? Should I leave it alone? Or should I just go through and comment and let you know, I see you. I see you, FlossTube community, and I want you to know that it it was an oversight, obviously, on my part, because I probably should be checking the individual videos for comments. But this app things, you know, this dashboard thing seems so great that it would just, you know, flood them all in one place. I don't know. Let me know. Like I said, I'm feeling bad that there's these old comments I haven't responded to. So I might just sit down with a lovely mug of coffee and just go through them, because I don't want anyone to feel slighted or overlooked, because that's not fun. Nobody wants to feel that, and I sure don't want you to feel that about me. So anyway, I apologize for that error. Yeah. All right. So another thing I wanted to point out is one of you lovely viewers commented last week, "Hey Robin, could you please remember to tell me the fabric count and the flosses, and if you're stitching 1/1 or 2/2 or whatever it is you're doing." I will try really super hard to get that into my head, because I do miss that all the time. I will try really hard to remember to do that with each piece that I show, and I do try to put it in my show notes, but you know, every once in a while, you know, life happens. So enough of all of that. I think it's time to see the cross stitch, don't you? And in my mug, nothing interesting, just brewed coffee. Okay, so last week, despite the fact that I think I had one day of no stitching and one day where I probably stitched 10 stitches, I still got some good things stitched up, and I have 2 finishes to show you. You ready for a finish? Okay, let's start. Sorry, the sun is streaming through my blinds, so I'm trying to keep out of the big light coming through the seams of my blind. Okay, so the first thing that I finished stitching on, and I'm gonna consult my journal because I want to make sure I get this right. I finished the Sense and Sensibility SAL, and okay, in my journal it's project number 19. So I stitched on this thing. I started it on the 13th of February, which is fun to know, and I finished it on May 2nd. I'm way behind on that SAL. It took me forever. I stitched it on a 32 count BeStitchMe fabric in the color Sleet, and I used all the called for flosses. However, I chose the colorway that you would use for the white fabric, because the colorway, she put out 2 colorways. For the blue fabric, it didn't pop on my brandy fabric, so I just went crazy. And this is my finish, you guys. Can you see that? So Sense and Sensibility is done. Now, there is some personalization on this, and the personalization is not mine. It was not my idea. Erin at Perpetual Projects, she finished this, and she added, down at the bottom, she added a J and an A to her piece, and then at the top she added 1811, which is the year that Sense and Sensibility was published. And I thought that was brilliant. And I did check with Erin first, and she said, feel free. So I felt free. So I went and found an alphabet in, of all things, my Cinnamon Stars chart by Plum Street Samplers. And I used the J and the A out of that alphabet to put my J and A. And then the 1811, I just spotted that on an antique sampler, you know, and I could count it out. So I just used that. So that is my first finish. and it's finished. I'm very happy. I did run around yesterday a little bit trying to find a frame, and I couldn't find a frame, so I think I'm gonna have my husband custom make me a frame, because he can do that stuff out in the garage with all his woodworking. So there is FFO number 1 for the week, and I couldn't be happier. And thank heavens I got it done before the Stitching Book Club drops their second piece for the year, which I believe is Little Women, and it's coming in about a month, I think. Maybe at the end of this month. Anyway, I definitely wanted to make sure that I got Sense and Sensibility finished up before we get Little Women. So, yay for a first finish. Now the second thing, it's actually a start and a finish this week. I told you on last week's FlossTube that my plans for May are to stitch all the flowers. I want things that have flowers, and I need little pillows for my dough bowl because I still have my Easter pieces in there. So I've got to switch those out, but I didn't have anything to put in the dough bowl. So it was time to do a little pillow stitching. So I went through my computer, and I'm looking to see if I've got the chart sitting here somewhere. Maybe I don't. That's okay. I went through my computer and I looked in my my list of freebie charts that I've downloaded, and I found this one. Hello Spring, and this is by Lizzie Kate, and I just thought that would be really super cute in my dough bowl, and I wanted it to match this one that I had stitched last year, which just says Spring, and this is by From the Heart Needle Art by Wendy. And what I did was I went and found the chart, because I'm a monster. I write on my charts, and I wanted the colors in this new one to match the colors I used in last year's stitch. So I went through, I found my chart, and I had written down, like I said, I'm a monster. I write on my charts. I wrote down all of the DMCs that I pulled for the From the Heart Needle Art piece, and I pulled them again. And here, don't remember I showed you this last week, or 2 weeks ago, I guess. This is by Chris at As the U Flies. This is her. It's kind of like it's kind of like an artist trading card. Remember those from years ago? Anyway, I put her card as my floss bling, and I just used those same colors on Hello Spring. I'm gonna turn this into a pillow this week, and on this guy is a 32 count linen. It's from my stash, so I don't really know. It's just a mystery linen. It's 32 count. I actually even, do I have one of those, I have one of those rulers where you hold it down into your fabric and then you literally count, and I had to count through, figured out it's a 32 count and it would fit on this piece of linen. So that's super fun. So that's all set. And then I still have quite a bit of linen left over here on this side, and I think if it will fit, I've got another Lizzie Kate freebie, and since it's a freebie I can show you it. And this one says Friendship Grows, which I think is super cute. And she's got some suggested colors, but I'm gonna continue with this little palette of colors, and that's gonna be the next little pillow, and hopefully it will fit on the other side of my fabric, and that will also go in my dough bowl. So there you go. That I had 2 finishes this week. I'm super, super excited with my progress. Yay! And I don't want to say for sure that you can get these off of Lizzie Kate's website, but that's my guess as to where I got them. So if you're looking for these, I would start with her website and see if you find them. Okay, so there's my finishes. I had 2. I'm really excited to have had 2 finishes in 1 week. You know, of course, one of them was tiny, you know, 45 by 45, but hey, a finish is a finish. I'm taking it. I'm calling it a win. All right, so now that we've looked at some finishes, why don't we look at some whips together? What did I stitch on this week? I stitched and stitched and stitched 3 days, you guys. I stitched on Cardinal Points. I have not looked at this guy for a couple of months. And so in case you need a refresher, here's Cardinal Points. I love this. This is by Julia Line from Long Dog Samplers. Cardinal Points. Look at those fantastic cardinals. And I got a cardinal done. Finally got a cardinal done. So here we are. And what I got stitched this time was I finished that little hump, for lack of a better word. I got the N for the north. I got the cardinal. I started this little basket that he's stitching on, and down here I got the dog put in, which we all know I love dogs. So that was fun to get that out and work on it. And that's not a lot of stitching for 3 days. I just had some tired days, but it's okay. And then to try to keep up with my resolution to tell you what I stitched on, and again, like I said, I'm a monster. I write on my charts. I am stitching on a 32 white Lugana, and this is 2/2. And I think it's turning out really pretty. I think the sample they stitched at 1/2. I didn't think it was covering enough with one strand, so I made the choice to go 2/2 in my stitching, because I like really filled in stitches, and I'm happy. I'm happy with how it's looking. It's going to take me a million years though. This one is a slow stitch for me. There aren't big areas with lots of color. You know, you're switching colors quite often on this piece, which is what's giving it, you know, which is what makes it look so fantastic. But by the same token, it takes me a long time, because especially since I'm stitching it on white, I don't feel like I can carry my thread on the back side. I feel like I have to, you know, anchor and start again and anchor and start again. So it does take me quite a while. That's all right. That's all right. We'll get there. Okay, so I stitched on that. Cardinal Points. I stitched on, what else did I stitch on? I'm like drawing a blank. Oh, obviously I stitched on the Hello Spring. Start and finish that. And then I stitched on, you'll love it, I stitched on Gnomes in the Garden. Yay! I finally broke that back out after a couple of weeks. So here we are, my beloved Bent Creek Gnomes in the Garden row. And I wanted to show you my other floss bling from Chris at As the U Flies is on my flosses. And then the other fun thing is I had a viewer named Lisa who bought the Gnome project bag. After I showed it, she scurried on over and got her own project bag from Tara the 805 Stitcher, and I showed that it came with a needle minder. It turns out Lisa and we liked each other's needle minders better than our own, so we mailed each other our needle minders and we swapped. So my bag came with a little snail needle minder and hers came with the gnome. I'm thrilled. Thank you, Lisa. It's on my piece. And so you can see here my gnomes in the garden. I got when did I get finished this week? Oh, I got the F, the G, and starting on the H. And I think it's stitching up super, super cute. It's a little hard to see the true color of the linen. This is a 36 count Lakeside linen in the color River Willow. It doesn't show, the green does not show on my camera, no matter what I do, no matter what I put underneath it. But I'm stitching it 1/2, so 1 floss over 2 linen threads, and I'm pretty much changing everything, you guys. For some reason, despite the fact that there are plenty of really great flosses that are called for in this chart, I needed to bump up the colors, so I've pulled even more, which is why there's so many flosses here, and some DMCs. And I have no pre-planned idea of what I'm gonna stitch. That doesn't sound right. I have not figured out in advance when I'm going to make a color change and when I'm going to go with the chart. That's what I'm trying to say. Because like even last night when I was stitching, so this is like half a gnome here. I pulled the called for floss for his hat. I hated it. I hated it. It was like a brown, it was Garden Gate, and it was kind of a browny gray color, and I'm like, oh no, gnomes have red or blue hats. So I just grabbed something off that floss ring that was a blue color, and that's what I used for his hat. So I'm not tied at all to the called for flosses on this particular piece. I'm just making it up as I go along, which I think is okay, because I think it's fine to personalize your piece so that you will like it that much better when it is done and on display in your house. So there you have it. I stitched on my gnomes in the garden, and I just went nuts and did my own thing. And I'm still doing my own thing. Okay, so I think, I'm glancing at my notes here, you guys. That is all the stitching I did this week. Sounds good, right? The other thing I thought I would do quickly is just tell you my stats for April. I had 1 finish in April. On the first day of April, I finished my snowman ornament, and I started 3 things in April. I started the Silver Bells ornament, Gnomes in the Garden, and the May Snowflower Diaries. Those are the 3 things I started, and I stitched on 13 different pieces throughout the month. So those are my April stats for you, in case you're curious. I love doing that. I'm always curious, what did I stitch on? You know, how did I do in the month? So I don't know if that does anything for you, but it does something for me. All right, so what are my plans? What are my plans for this upcoming week? I am going to continue stitching flowers. I am going to go for, like I said, that Lizzie Kate, the Friendship Grows. I'd like to get that done. I'm going to continue with Gnomes in the Garden. Definitely going to continue on that. I haven't touched my Whip-Go pieces, either Whip-Go piece. So my called Whip-Goes are Cranberry Christmas and Huckleberry Farm. So I'm probably gonna slip one of those in. I don't know which one is calling my name. We'll see. But I remember last time when I talked about my plans, I did tell you that I was gonna restart. I was gonna restart my Cranberry Christmas because I didn't like my fabric, and it's not the color. It's so floppy, and I'm gonna try to use the sulkies that I have pulled. I have pulled a new fabric, which is a little stiffer, and I think it's gonna work out better for me. So I am gonna stitch that on Belfast linen in the color Vintage Country Mocha. I'm gonna do it on 32 count, and I'm gonna do it in the Called for Sulkies. And so this will be one strand of floss over 2 linen threads. So maybe I'll get myself a start on Cranberry Christmas to get myself going on Whip-Go. Yeah, that might be what I end up doing. All right, what else? Oh, I wanted to shout out a new floss tuber, you guys. My feed suggested this floss tube to me. It's called Whitney Stitches, and she's delightful. So she has, when I checked this morning, she has 44 subscribers. She could use a little floss tube love from y'all. So go check out Whitney Stitches. She is really fun. I thoroughly enjoyed her floss tube. She has one. So you can be an early adopter to Whitney Stitches if you'd like. I think that's it. Quick little life update. My parents are doing okay. I and my sister took them to a retirement community, and my dad put down deposit money on a unit. It's 100% refundable, so he can back out if he wants to, which he's already talking about. But it's going to be a brand new unit. What they're doing is they're taking 2 one-bedroom units, they're side by side, and they're gonna do a big remodel, and they're gonna turn it into 1 two-bedroom unit. So it would be super nice for them. It has an unobstructed view of Puget Sound. It would be perfect. They can watch the boats come and go all day long. They have a view of Maury Island. If you're from the Seattle area, that probably sounds familiar, so they can see the Maury Island lighthouse go on and off. I think it would be really nice for them. They also have a memory care unit, so when we get to the point that is needed, that next step is in the building, so we wouldn't have to move them. Anyway, we'll see. Like I said, my dad is already talking about getting his deposit back. The place hasn't had his deposit for 36 hours and he's already panicking. It won't be available till September, so we do have to get them through the summer, but if he keeps it, I think it would be a really good move for them. We'll see. So there you go. There's your life update on my parents. We have not had another fall, so that's good. We'll keep that going. That's it. I am going to get this uploaded this morning before I go to work. I will finish my coffee, and while the thing is uploading, I think I'm going to stitch on Gnomes in the Garden, get a little more work done on that. Oh, and if you are subscribed to Netflix, one of my favorite authors of all times is Leigh Bardugo, and her Grisha universe, the Shadow and Bone, is an 8-episode series that released a couple of weeks ago, 1 week ago. I have 1 episode left. I'm like sad to see it end because I'm thoroughly enjoying that on Netflix. So if you need something to watch, go watch Shadow and Bone on Netflix. If you need something to read and you've never read Leigh Bardugo's books, my very favorite book of all times, I'm not kidding, all times, is Six of Crows. Read Six of Crows and you will meet some of the characters that are in the Shadow and Bone series. If you want to meet the rest of the characters that are in the Shadow and Bone Netflix series, read her book, Shadow and Bone. They have combined those two books together to make this mini-series. It's not, like I said, it's not all that faithful. The characters are the same, the storyline is roughly the same, but they had to make some adjustments to put those two stories together. I'm okay with it. I'm here for it because I love those characters. All right, you guys, that's enough rambling for me. You have a great week. Stitch happy, my friends, and I will see you after my shopping extravaganza at Acorns and Threads next week. Okay, bye guys.